Let's get start with the demo of user management system using Firebase Auth and .NET MAUI. So here my application is running, and this is for window applications, and this is my Android applications. And now what I have to do, see, if I just try to log in with whatever username and password, if admin username and admin password. So once I log in mobile app, so I'm able to see whatever the user in I have in our Firebase auth. So yeah, once I logged in, now see, once you click over here, so whatever logged in user is logged in, it will available over here. Also you are able to see the sign out options, and once I click that users, so you are able to see all that users which have in this current Firebase auth system, right? So these are 3 users. So here if I want to edit and delete, I can able to do that. Even if I want to add new user also, I am able to do that. So let me try with add a new user. Click on that add, and here let me add a new user, for example test user, with the username, for example email address user, or just test at the rate gmail.com, and phone number would be something like +91. Actually it is required that code, country code, and let me add 234567890, just a random number, and put at some password. So what would be a password for your for a new user, right? So let me add something, a test user, so it should be a test at the rate 123. And there is a interesting part over here. So here whatever user role you want to assign this particular user, right? So I want to assign this user, like for example HR and account. So I just adding this user role selected by the checkbox, and once I save, it should be saved with this user role. Okay, so you are able to see the success message, it user got successful edit, right? I want to say okay. So you are able to see over here the test user has a 2 roles which we have to shown over here, right? So see, this is the two user role with this particular user which we have to given permission. Same things we can do in our window application as well, and now desktop application. For example, let me just sign out from here, and once is sign in, so let me sign in, and once you sign in, same feature and functionality you will able to see over here. And once you so once you click user, you will get that user list. So whatever that user newly added via mobile, you will also see to over here, right? So this is that new user, test user. So what I need to do, same thing you can do over here as well. Like once you click add, so new user you can add over here, right? And once you go back, you can able to see over here, once you right click over there, that particular section, you are able to see these two options, right? Okay, let me show you one more time. So these two options like edit and delete, right? It is the UI is different from mobile and desktop, so that's why it's look like this. But yeah, so if I want to edit something for this particular user, so once you click that edit, now you are able to see whatever that user I just added, I'm able to see over here, right? And here what I can do, simply I want to change this role. So as for example, I want to change this role to account to user, and once I save, and also if I want to change something, for example test user 1, right, and save it. So once I save, I should get to that whatever that result, right? So see, I updated 1, so that is there, and also I changed that whatever that previously account roles, so that I changed to that user role, right? So like this way actually we have to implement like complete user management system, we have to implement in this session. So which have like user and particular roles over here, so that would be show over here. Even if I want to delete, so there is a delete option as well. So let me show you first delete in our mobile app. So see, edit part also we have completed over here. Same things if I want to edit over here, so once you click edit, now you are able to see over here like okay, whatever that now current user, right? So this is that current user along with the whatever roles, right? So same roles you are able to see over here as well. So now if you want to edit or save it, change it, save it, so you will save as well over here. So once what I will do, simply go back, and I want to show you the delete operation. So once I click the delete, you're able to see this uh, pop-up confirmation pop-up dialog box, and if I want to cancel, nothing will happen. But once I delete, so once I okay, it should be delete over here, right? Same things, it should be refreshed. So okay, go back to over here and come back to that user. You are able to get that, you know, updated list over here. And ideally you can just put a refresh button over here so that you can refresh the list as well. That actually we can achieve it. There's not a big challenges. Okay, so same this complete feature user management system which will implement in this session. So let's guys start implementation. So before implementation, I'm especially recommend, if you first time visit my channel, so go to my channel, which is dotNet real world example, and here actually I'm going to build this complete .NET MAUI with Firebase auth and Firebase system. So there is a complete series is going on. So where is my last session? So here is my last session which I just covered, actually Firebase rules in .NET MAUI, right? So I will take same example and continue with this user management system implement. But yeah, I'm especially recommend, please watch this session so that you can get an idea how we can create a .NET MAUI application, how can actually use that Firebase things, everything's actually how we can use it in Firebase rules and Firebase authentication and Firebase on or right. So that you have to check out first this session. So apart from this also, if you don't know about that other technology like Blazor application, Blazor hybrid app and all, so there are many application, many session actually I just created. There is a complete application actually we got created for that quiz app with wasm and Firebase DB and auth, right? And also we have hosted as well this complete application we deploy as well as a free. So there's a many things, many things you can up to, if you want to learn, so you can learn it over here. So let's start. So I will take same example which I have in our GitHub link. So take this same example which I covered in last session. So this is my example. This is my same repository, right, which I just download in our local. Let me run it and let me open in a Visual Studio. So now my application got open in our Visual Studio. So this is simple architecture, we have not follow any standard architecture, right? So if you're interested in other architecture like Linux and all, so you can follow my channel and you can go to there and definitely will get that more idea how we can use it on all. But yeah, we will focus over here actually user management system with using Firebase and in .NET MAUI, right? So let's start it. So what I need to do first actually we have to check, okay, what we have that functionality in this current application. So let me show you first. So what I can do, simply whatever that current in the demo application is open, so let me close it so that there is no confusion. So let me close it, and once you close, so choose this, you know, Windows machines, run it this application and see in action. So yeah, my application got open or running in our window application. Let me log in with the admin user. So it is admin@gmail.com, and what is my password? Let me hide it and sign in. Once you sign in, it is a debugging point. Let me remove the debugging point. And once you sign in, so you're able to see over here whatever that current hotel list which we have completed in last session. There's a binding that all complete, you know, hotel list which we can add, edit, delete, view, everything, right? So now we have only just functionality like user can logged in with that user, right? And also will be display, along with there is a hotel management system as well. We can manage their hotel like there is a hotel as well. So what I need to do, whatever user actually we are trying to log in, right? So that user also we can manage over here. So yeah, that we have to add a new section over here to user management system. So let me sign out, yes, and close it, and let's start to implementation. So for that implementation, what I need to do first, actually I have to create a view model for that particular user, so that I can get that all the user and bind it to in our views, right? So let me just create a new view model over here. Let me create a new class, and in this class we have to create one as a user model or user view model. So let me add that as a user model, add it over here. And once we add, let me create public and also partial, because this is a view model, we have to use the view model. And we already actually created a view base view model, so we have to edit that one. And once we add, what I need to do over here, we have to create this two property. One is that refresh property, right? And see, I've just created one refresh property. So if it is refresh, so we will managing this property. And also we have to create another user list model or collection, which we can get it all the list, update it, get it the list and update over here and bind that in our XAML page. So for this, actually we have to record on a one view model of a user view model, so that actually I have to create a user model, right? So let me quickly create that model over here as well. So go to that model section, there is a model section, create a new class, and here let me quickly add that name user model, and in this user model make it public's class. Okay, and whatever that information be required, so we have to add it over here. Let me quickly add some property over here. For example, UUID, display name, use email ID, password is email verified, photo URL, and phone number and roles. So this is that important part. Actually we have to do some tricks for that roles, so that's why I just taking as a roles as a string, so that whatever roles that particular user, we can show is that as a comma separated value, right? So that's why using a string. But yeah, we can use as a collection as well, that depend on how you can show it to user. So based on this you can just use it. Okay, but yeah, I will use this way. And once you're done, so now we have to bring back that namespace. So this is my namespace, so we have to bring back over here. So once it's done, now I have to create a one method where first actually I just create a relay command, right? So that relay command, actually we can use it in our there from my view model, right? So that's why I create a relay command. And here we have to get that namespace, which is a community toolkit mbbm input. So I have to get it that. And then once it's done, now I have to just create it one function which will return, or which will get it all that user informations from that Firebase DB, right? So for Firebase, actually how we can get that user from that Firebase, so that is an important part actually. So what I can do for this, I have to record Firebase auth as a class, Firebase auth class. So for this I have to record one of the package, so that Firebase as like we have to use previously one of the package, right? So let me show you what package actually we have to use in last time. So we have to use Firebase authentication.net, right? So that same we have to use another package which is similar for that, that will actually handle our Firebase admin and Firebase authentications, right? So for that we have to just get it that Firebase admin package for here. So right click on this package project, go to that manage, and here let me choose that browser, and just looking for that Firebase admin, and this is that package actually. So this package is required to handle that Firebase authentication user. So what I will do, I will take the latest one and install it and save it. Okay, so that's fine. We have to do that this package. And once you're done, now go back to your view model. Where is that view model? Here, that view model, and let me start the implementation. And one more configuration we have to do that in our maui.program.cs file, that I will do it later. But yeah, as of now we are good. So first what I will do, I have to just clear that list over here first, because whatever the list, we have to just clear it. Okay, and once you clear it, So now I have to just create you know the try catch block, so that if any exception, we can handle it over here. So try catch over here, right? So that is fine also. And inside that I have to just create this user info list, which is that now initialize that user list over here, so that whatever that get data getting from that Firebase auth, so we have to store it over here, and then we can just convert it to that. So how we can get it? So simply we required this Firebase auth dot default instance and dot list of, there is a many method actually. So like, see, for example, the generate sign in and generate password and all, but yeah, which we have to record over here, which we record a list of users, right? So I will use the list of user async method, and this also we can pass as a parameter over here, but as of now we don't record any parameter. We have to record all that user which is we have currently in our Firebase system. So we'll get it over here. So I will just keep it as a variable name, whatever the data we are getting, I'll just keep it as a page enumerable, right? And then what I need to do, I have to just getting that whatever the see, it is returning as a enumerable, right? And also see, it is a page asynchronized enumerable list, right? So that I have to just convert it as a row response, right? Page as a row response, and get async enumerator. And now finally I will get that response of that, this like I async enumerator export user records, right? So once I get it this response, what I need to do, I have to just using a infinite loop over here, this while loop, so that I can iterate one by one all that response, whatever response I am getting. So I have to just now iterate it using that while loop. Okay, so once you're done, now what I need to do, I have to just create a one response, whatever that current response, I have to store it over here, and then I have to iterate a for each loop and get it the data. So let me quickly create a for each loop over here, and like this. Okay, so see, this is response dot user. In this response has all that user, so I have to iterate all that user one by one, and then we have to just store it in this user list, right? So how we can edit, it's simple. For example, like I have to just create it over here as a user model, right? And whatever that user, I have to just store it that particular properties, right? And this is that important part actually. So this roles, okay, so as of now that roles table returning as a user claims custom, right? Actually it is returning as a dictionary, right? Whatever roles we have, right? So they will returning as a dictionary, like I say, okay, what is the roles and what is the name and what is their roles, right? Like suppose like user is user role and all, right? Something like that actually they will returning. Don't worry about that, I will tell you exact role what actually will returning. And that's why we have to do one thing, just we have to joining, because see, this role property we have to add as a string, but we have returning as a dictionary item. So what I need to do, simply I have to use just join and comma separate using that delimiter, right? And then we have to map as well, like whatever the custom role one by one, we have to map it to like that key, right? Whatever key we have to map it and return back to assign it over here. By we are mapping because see, once I add a new roles or new roles that particular user, so that time we have to store different role. Like so for example, let me just create that role which we have to trying to map. So let me go on the top and let me add a role, some roles. Okay, so this is something as a key map, right? So as of now the Firebase returning is admin as a key, okay, and which we have to store once I register new user or assign that user, we have to store as a is admin. But what we have to show to user, okay, if it is admin, that means it is a admin. And what is the is user? That means it is a user, right? So something like that, actually we have to map it for that user perspective. So that's why we have to map over here, and we have to create this dictionary as a key map, and finally we have to map over here and get back to that roles over here. That's fine. And then once you're done, what you have to do, whatever roles we have to add over here is whatever roles, not whatever the user information, we have to take that user list. Where is our user list? So this is my user list, and we have to add it over there, right? And one by one we have to just adding in our user observable collections, all that user. And once is done, let me see, where is that end loop? Okay, so this is that end loop, and in this end loop, or actually what I can do now, I just have to add an exception over here. Actually I forget that. So this is that exception, and whatever exception we have to maintain over here as a logged it and all, so that we can log it as well. So that's are fine to that method, okay, which will returning all that data, and we have to bind it, we have to get it over here, we can bind it over here, right? So this is fine for list binding. So one more thing actually we have to do over here, that is refresh, right? Suppose our list is, I want to refresh from our mobile app or some other place which is actually supported. So that's why we have to create another method, which is something, okay, I think one thing I miss over here, that, yeah, I think one braces is missing. Yeah, that's fine. So this is completed, and then go to the next command. So which is then my next command, which next command is would be the relay command for that refresh. So I want to refresh list as well, that's why I just create this method to refresh our list. It is nothing, just simply I will put some delay time for the refreshment. Like for example, is refresh is true, so always once I refresh that list, it will be true, and we have to put some delay over here, and then we have to get it the data, and then finally is refresh false, right? It is just simple. So once their view model is completed, now what I can do, I have to just create that pages, right, where I want to bind it. So right click on that in the view or anywhere if you want, so you can just create it over there. But yeah, create a new item and go to the .NET MAUI, and here I will use that .NET MAUI content view page, and view page name would be over here something like user or what, yeah, I think user page. So that would be fine, but yeah, it is up to you, whatever you want, so you can keep it. So I will put it our user page, so which we can show it all that user information. So first what I need to do, I have to add that no namespace which we have to want to use. Suppose for I want to use that view model, so let me quickly add that namespace, for example view model, and look for that view model. So this is my view model, and similar things we have to do for that model as well. So let me quickly add as a model, like let me copy that complete path and paste it over here and change it to like model. So model like this one, right? So yeah, so these two things you have to do that, and once you're done, now one more thing actually we have to do over here, like that what is that data type, right? So let me add that, data type. So using the data type, I will use over here that view model, and which user model view model actually we are using. So I am using that user, and if you that space user view model, right? So this one actually we are trying to use, so this is that one. And once you're done, now one more things we have to add, but yeah, that will add in a later, but yeah, that's fine. So these three namespace you have to record, and you have to bind that data type as well, so whatever data type. So once you're done, now we have to create a one grid actually. So that grid actually I have handy. So what I can do, I can just remove this section. I don't want to this section, so I have already prepared as a grid. So let me copy that grid, because that is just design part. So I will just create a grid over here, and let me show you what is actually. So see, this is simple grid, and also we have a refresh view over here, and which will actually bind that that property along with that refresh command, which we have to create in our view model, right? So that is one. And then after that we have to just create a collection view, and in this collection view, whatever that collection model or collection property, we have to just create it, we have to bind it over here. And other part actually it is pretty much similar. Like for example, I use that swap view left, which will actually bind this two data, right? Means two button, like one is that edit, and one is the delete for that mobile perspective. But yeah, in after that actually we have also just using for desktop app, because see, this swap view is not working in our desktop application, right? So that's why we have using another view or another design for that menu layout, which will allow to desktop for that add, edit, and other section. So we have to just create for that over here. For here we have to just create that edit option, and this is a delete option. And also we have to just comment it over here for other section. For example, if you want to click on that view, so whatever that particular user has a views and complete details, so we can show it over here. But yeah, I'll just comment it, we don't record as of now, but yeah, for future perspective we record, we can use it. So we have to keep it. And after that, what we are trying to do, simply we have to just design whatever that photo we have, so we have to bind that photo as a image. Okay, and then we have to display that name. This is my display name and my email address, and this is our roles. Okay, so these are things actually we're trying to bind, and this is another things we have to comment it. So in this mobile section, once you that click on that particular section, so it is a look like is a tab. Okay, so once you tab it, so you will go to the details section. So that also I just show it over here. If you record, you can just use it, but as of now we don't record. And finally we have to just close it. So these are things actually we have to done. And one more thing actually we have to record. So for example, see this reference. Okay, so this reference, as of now we have to create this reference in our pages, so that's why we have to use. So where actually we trying to bind this command, we combine this command this particular user page, right? So that's why we have to just create this user section over here on the top. Go to that over here. I already actually explained this how we can create menu layout in our desktop app for .NET MAUI. So you definitely will get an idea if you want to learn over here. So go to my channel, you will get that session as well. But here what I will do, simply I have to just create it that variables over here. For example, name, and name would be as a user content. So that's why I have to reference over as the user content, so that in this particular page, once I right click, I will get that reference over here. So it is also have that edit user and delete user, which it is still not implement, but I will implement in little bit later. Okay, so we are almost done except this photo section, I guess, because as of now we don't has any photo and all. So yeah, we can check it if it is photo is available or not. But yeah, I think let me try to build it and see is there any error and all. Okay, so there is no issue, build succeeds. That means whatever we have implemented, it is perfectly working fine. And yeah, so what I need to do for run this application, we have to config something. Okay, so now view model is fine, also this is fine. But yeah, one more thing actually we have to do, that inside this page and code behind file of that user page XML file. So here we have to do we have to call that view model over here and binding the context. So let me quickly do that. So what I can do, simply I have to just user view model and bind that user view model, and just create a property and assign that property over here, and that binding context. So let me quickly binding context over here, and that's it, right? So this is one section completed. Now one more thing actually we have to do that over here. So see, once user comes this page, so in this page there's some life cycle. Okay, so in this life cycle we have to use navigation override. Okay, we have to do that override method, and we have there many life cycle method over here, right? So is on appearing, on navigation change and all, right? So I will use that on navigation change. So once user navigate anywhere in this page, so this method will call. Okay, so I will use that navigated to, and in this navigated to, what I will do, I have to call this user model have that method, right? That I have to just call it. So let me call it await. Okay, and then this dot get data load, so that, see, once I comes navigate this page, so this function will call and this will bind in our YAML page. So that's it, right? And now is part of that configuration, because I have used in my view model. Now see, again I will show you user view model. I actually use it over here, this Firebase auth default instance, right? So this default instance is fine, but we have to configure. So based on this configuration, actually it is connected and get it the data, right? So for that, we have to go to that maui.program.cs file, and in here what I can do, that I have to call actually one file. Okay, so that I have to just keep it also, that configuration file we have to get it first. So let me go first in our console.firebase over here, like see console firebase google.com. we have to log in over here, whatever my user, so I have to log in and go to that particular a particular project which I have just created for this this application. So what is my application is, so my application I want to show you. So see, my application name is Firebase DB Realtime, right? So if you go to your here, so I just have to create it in my, when you start this series, so I've just created, but yeah, this is this project. So go to inside this project, and once you go to inside this project, we have to go to somewhere. So where is I have to go to? So click on that section, or yeah, this range section, click on this guy, and project setting, go to that project setting, and in this project setting go to the service account, and in this service account we have to generate this new private key. Okay, and this private key actually we have to configure over here like this, right? So we have already is a just a sample, but it is a sample for Node.js, Java, Python and Go language, but yeah, we have to use .NET as well. So what I need to do, simply nothing we have to do, just download this file, create a generate key, right, and just save it in some of the place. So for example, as of now I just downloaded my download section. Okay, and once you download, go back to over here and just rename it. You rename it as per our convenience name. So let me rename, for example, this is fine. Okay, so this is renaming, and just copy this guy, copy. So option, where is copy? Yeah, is it's copy. Go back to your solution and go to that resource page, resource folder, and inside we have a row folder, and here actually we have to keep all that files which we can read it. So what I will do, I simply paste it over here. Now my file is over there, right? And one more thing, actually we have to do that. Once you pasted your file, you have to right click on this file and click on that property, and in this property you have to just add as a MAUI asset. So that you have to make sure, like that you have to properly set is a build action is a MAUI asset, because without MAUI asset I don't think so it should be work. I have not tried, but yeah, I recommend please use these settings, because I face many issue for this, so that's why I am using. And other things also you can just use it if you want to, but yeah, don't copy or copy his neighbor and all. So those are things you can just do it, but yeah, as of now I just leave it. So that is fine. And now go back to your section over here, right, the configuration section, and after this section I have to, what I have to do that over here, I have to just call this file. Okay, so where is my file? This here is my file. So this file I have to just read it, means I have to call this file. So how I can call it that file in our Firebase, in our .NET MAUI application? So simply I have to use that file system, right? And I using this method on package file system, and I have to replace our file name. So what is my file name? Let me copy this file name and just change it to this guy. Okay, so this is my file name. Whatever your file name, complete extension, you have to get it, you have to put it over here, and using that dot result. Okay, so now you will get that data over here, and once you get the data, what I need to do, I have to read this data. So I have to using the steam reader so that I can read the data. And once I done, so now I have to use that Firebase Firebase app, right? So this is the Firebase app dot create, and in this create method, now see we have that for overload method. Now if you look into see this app options, right? So I will use that app options, new app options. So this is my app options, and inside this what I need to do, there is a many configuration, right? So like for example credentials, server and all. So I require the credentials, and here I will put that credentials, like for example Google credentials, right? And dot from JSONs. Now see here's the something as a from that file also you can just get it that data, or from the JSON also you are getting the data. So what I will use that from the JSON, and from the JSON I will use that reader dot read to end, so that whatever data I have, that I have just getting the reader that data. So I get that all the data in this file and just assign to this credentials. That's it. Now this is a very important part actually. Once you have to do that, so once you have to do that, now we are good to go to run this application, right? And we can get the data. But yeah, one more thing actually we have to do that, we have to resolve the dependency, because we have created new view model, we have to create new pages and all. So those actually also we have to do that. So let me quickly add over here. For example, we create a new view model, right? So what is my view model? User view model, right? So this is one things, and another things also I have just create another page. So let me quickly that page also we have to register over here. So let me add singleton, or add scope is also fine. So what is my page name? User page, right? So this is also fine. Now we are good. And one more thing actually we have to do, that we have to configure in app shell. Yeah, so we have to register also over here that user page, right? So let me quickly add that user page as well over here. So routing dot registered register route, right? And then name of whatever that user page, right? And then the type of user page. That's it, right? Now we have configured all of the stuff, right, related to that user page and view model. So now we have to add one more thing actually, that navigation, right? So as of now we have to if we go to that app.shell page, right? So in this app.shell page we have only that main page over here, right, which is returning hotel management system. But similar we have to just create another page which will returning, or which will just show the navigation for that user page. So same things we have to do that. So what I will do, simply just copy this similar and paste it over here, right? So see, I using the shell is I using the title of that user, and the views already we have to just using that views, right? So inside that views we have that user page, so I'm just using, and route would be on a user page only. Save it and then run it and see in action. So my application got running over here, and let me sign in. So sign in with the admin user and my password. This is my password. and sign in. Yeah, I am sign in, and once I click this one, so now see this new tab available over here. So once I click that user tab, now I'm getting the data, whatever data I have. So now I'm get it over here, right? And one thing I observe over here, there is no roles for that any user. So that could be happen because as of now could be happen there is a no roles and all. But yeah, we'll check it, is there any role and all. So go back to over here and go to that view model. Where is my view model? And we can make sure, okay, we have that or not. Okay, so what I can do, simply here, right, put the debugger point over here, right, and one more time go back to here, just okay. So refresh will not work. Also see the user page over here, but yeah, it is looks different, little odd. So go back to that user. Yeah, it is reaching over here. So click that user section and check that custom claim. Yeah, custom claim is 0, that is fine. So continue. This is another user, there is a 2 3 user, right? So again custom claim is 0, that is also fine. This is third user, again custom claim is 0, that is also fine. And the last one also custom claim is 0. That means whatever data is look like, it is fine, because there's a no any user which have that, you know, the roles, right? So that's why it is look like. Okay, so don't worry, we'll do one more things. We will just create another section where we have to implement add and update, right? So in that section we will just update that particular user and assign that roles as well, right? So but yeah, as of now the role binding is perfectly working, the user binding is perfectly working fine, right? And except this the image, right? So that's fine, like whatever image you want, so you can just see there is a image section, right? So a photo URL, I'm just passing over here that image. So whatever image, if it is available in your system, like for example where is the resource, and this is the image, right? So if you use this image, like suppose if you want to change that username over here, so you will get it over here. So what I will do, I will do just copy my image, whatever my image, right? So that I will put it over here so that it can show you how is look like. Okay, so copy my from my desktop and paste it over here. Now see this karthik.png is over here, and let me stop it and run it. I don't think so it will work for that hot reload and all, but yeah, let's see in action now. Okay, one more thing, actually I have to do that. Now see, every time I am just putting that username and password, right? So that I have to avoid that. So what I can do, I go to that view model, and where is my sign in model, and here just I have to put the default username and password. So what is my username? My username is admin at the rate gmail.com, and the password would be my default password. So let me kk @gmail.com, right? Or just something else, I guess. 1 2 3, I guess. Yeah, let me save it and stop it and run it. Or might be I'm missing something. Okay, so run it. Okay, my is running, and now see I am getting this username and password, so I don't want to always. Okay, so now here once I click that users, so okay, leave it that part, continue. Now I am able to see that image as well, right? So that is fine. So now we have to implement or same things we have to show you in our mobile application. Okay, so let me stop it. So let me run in an Android emulator, click sign in, and once you change your users navigations, okay, there is a debugging. So yeah, continue the debugging, and you're able to see all the data over here. So that means Android and desktop app both are working fine, right? And one more thing actually I observe. So yeah, if any issue while this actually running your Android application or emulator, any emulator. So if it is something issue, so you can do one thing. If you go back to here, MAUI or that project file, and this is that one of the package. So if it is missing something, if it is not running properly in your Android emulator, so actually I observe one thing, this required one more package. So that is the one, actually community MAUI package. So just add this package. So as of now I just comment it out for your future perspective, or might be some system specific issue. So yeah, that will be resolved, that issue. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. I am commented this one, but yeah, that is perfectly working fine. So now move it to next feature, that is add an update. Like suppose user want to add an update and all, right? So for example, this add and edit functionality, we have to implement that one. So for that, stop that application and go back to your view model again, because I have to record another view model over here. For that add edit hotel, as like we have to record add edit user view model, right? So let me create this view model quickly, and would be the name over here. So this would be a name, add update user view model, edit, and make it again, it is a public and partial class, right? And same things we have to do that for every view model, base view model, right? And then what I need to do again, there is some edit functionality and all, right? So for that I have to record some property, for example edit, right? So if it is edit, or if it is a new user, we have to create it a new user or edit of user. So based on this we have to identify using this property. Okay, and then we have to record another property, which is password visibility, right? So that means suppose one of the user I want to add a new user, right? So that new user only will have that password, input a password field. So based on this actually I will show that password field. If it is edit user, they does not need to any password update and all. So that's why I just put it this guy. Okay, and then I have to record another one, which is just user model, which will keep it all that user information, which will be bind for that edit information, right? And then we have to record one roles, actually that roles collection, which will binding all the roles, right? And for this we have to create another role model. So let me quickly create a role model over here in the model section. Go back and create a role model over here. So first of all, we have to create this public class, and also actually it's look like as a we have to use this model as a MBBM pattern, right? Or MBBM approach, right? So for that actually I have to just create a partial class over here. Why I'm just doing that, I'll tell you a little bit later, but yeah, let me quickly decorate for this as a view model, right? Base view model. And in here whatever the three properties, right? So that is look like this. Okay, so I have a ID, name, and is selected property. Actually I want to update based on the roles. Suppose I change that roles, right? So if I change the roles, so I want to update same data as well, this role model as well. So that's why I'm using this role model as MBBM approach, right? So yeah, that's fine. Then go back and you have to get it over here, that role model. And similar I have to do one more property, which will be get it like which one is selected, right? Like suppose I selected role admin, so those are actually will store it over here, so that I can easily pass it to for our now at API call, for that Firebase API call, where they will require that okay, which user roles you want to update it, right? So based on that particular user roles we have to get it from here and we have to update it, right? And apart from that, we have to record one last property. Actually, that is if it's any fail and all, we can keep it over here in this property. That's fine. Okay, now what I need to do, I have to just create a one method as a relay command method, which I can use as a command as well, right? Let me bring that namespace of that mbbm toolkit, right? And here it's simple. I have to just create a method which will actually get that all the roles, right? So whatever the roles currently I want to bind it, right? So that roles, it will bind it using this method, like as a load roles, right? And before that implementation, this method actually be required as a dummy roles, because uh, as of now we don't have a role in our database. But yeah, that also fine if you get that call of database, as like we have to do in a hotel management system. So you can store that roles in a database and you can get it. But as of now I usually using in memory, because as of now we have just few roles, right? So that's why I just using the in memory list, and that in memory list I have to use over here. So first of all I have to just clear that, like if it is password is visibility, if it is not equal to edit, so it should be true and false based on this, this flag. And first role should be, all that roles should be clear, and then one is clear, I have to get that roles from this method, calling this method, get the roles and store it over here. And then we have to just add in our collections, right? So like this also you can use it, and also this would be fine if you use like this way, right? So both our approach is fine, which one you refer, you can just use it. But yeah, as of now I just commented this guy. So yeah, whatever roles, I'm just assigning the role collection. Where is our role collection? This is my role collections, observe role collection. I've just added over here. So now this load roles, edit all the roles over here. That is one thing we have to do. That after that we have to create one method which will actually, whatever currently selected role, we have to store in this selected role, right? So for that again, so we require another method which will actually, whatever roles, right? Suppose I have a 5 roles, this 5 roles, right? And if I click on edit functionality, so what role are actually the current user have, so that actually we have also selected, right? So how we can select it, like see, is this role model, if you go to that role model, where's my role model? See, there's a property id and name, right? So there's a also property is selected. That means if which role is selected, so if it is true, so that means that role will be selected in our UI, right? So that's why what I need to do, I have to create another method which will be role will be selected over here. So this is one, this is the selected. And first actually I have to just clean all the roles, right? Whatever roles we have currently in the role selection, that I have to clear it. And then again I have to get that roles, as like we have to get it over here, same things, I have to get that all the roles, whatever roles we have, and then we have to match it over here. Okay, so let me filter it or match it over here like this way, like okay, whatever user roles conditions, like whatever that current user, right? So what is that current user, where I can get it? So this is that current user, which once I click edit, so I will get that all that user information. And that user information would have also the roles as a, roles as a string, as a comma separate value. And then we have to just split, and then we have to just compare, okay, whatever that this user and a role name, that should be a, if it is equal, so we have to just filtered, right? So once you filtered, then I have to get that, I have to update that role. Okay, so how we can update that role? Simply again I can just using that update role, right? So this is that main roles, our main roles, like whatever that current observable collections, this is the main roles whatever we have. And then where I update whatever that role we have on this particular user, that I have to matching, if it is matched, so that I have to get it over here. So once you get it, then we have to update like this way, right? So this is that update role, and whatever update role just selected, it is selected, is true. That's it, right? So this is done. So whatever role that particular user already have, so that will be selected as a select is true. So that is done. Now one more thing actually we have to do over here, like for example is selection. Like suppose user has changed, like suppose user changed that draw checkbox, right, particular role checkbox. So if it changed, so that also we have to manage, like how we have to change that user that particular rules, so that we have to change it. So for this I have to create another function over here that is called something selection change, like selection role change. Also we can use it selection role change, but yeah, that's fine. And here first of all I will take as a try catch, so that if there is any error I can handle it over here like this. Okay, and then here I have to create one selected item. So whatever that roles we have, so whatever that is selected true, right, so that I have to filter it out over here. And once you filter out, I will just clear over there whatever the previously selected roles. I have to just clear it, and then I have to just add using that for each loop. So this selected roles I have to iterate it and adding in this whatever the new roles the user selected, right, so that I have to add it in this collection, observable collection. That's it, right? And then if it is any error and all, we can just set it over here as like that. Okay, so this is also done. Now what is pending? Okay, so one more thing actually pending over here, that assign user roles, right? So that assign user roles means whatever roles whatever user we are getting, right, so that assign user, like for example add an update, right? So in add an update, like for example where is a save method. Okay, so this view model also will taken care, like okay, user if you want to save an update, so that function also we have to implement, right? So that function, let me quickly implement that function over here. So first I have to just create let me collapse all that method. Okay, and go to the down. Okay, this is that function, and after that I have to just create another function and just call it to something save and update something, right? So that we can call it over here like save or update or something like, okay, that's fine I think also. Yeah, and let me quickly try catch. Okay, and just decorate as like we have done. And here first on our condition if, right, because we have to handle both conditions. So for example if, right, if it is not equal to edit, so that means it is add, like it is add functionality. So in this add functionality, what I need to do, I have to call that method which is await Firebase auth Firebase auth, right? And then default instance dot create user, right? So this is the method actually we have to pass over here user record, right? So where I can get that user information, so I can get that user information from that user model. So like that I have just created user records, right? And this is that email and whatever that we have to record, like suppose I want to pass it that email, so that email I have to get it from that user, display name also get it from that user, phone number also get it from here, and also password get it from that user. And simply I have to pass this guy, this is that guy, save it, and that's fine, right? And here one more thing actually we have to do that. So this is one section where actually new user will be created in our Firebase authentication, right? Authentication user, that is fine. But what I can do, I have to assign some role as well, because that particular forms have user selected some roles as well, right? So in this case what I can do, I have to just create actually another, I have to call that another function which will pass as a response, like if it is response, whatever response, if it is success and false. So based on this, we can just assign that roles as well, that particular user. So let me just quickly create that function. So let me create this function over here. For example, this is that function, right? So this is just returning as a bool parameter, right? It is success or fail, and it is accept also expect actually user record, right? So in here, what I need to do, also I will use here also try catch block, right? Yeah, this guy. And now we have to check it over here. First we have to check whatever that response have a UI ID. So if it is not null, that means we have successful added the new user, right? So once you successful new user, I have to do one thing over here. So it is a little complex, but I think it is fine. If you see this code, so yeah, so see what I'm trying to do is see whatever that current role selected role, right? So that's selected and get that all the roles, right? And the to dictionary, and here I'm just using that, the switch case statement. So if it is admin, so I'm just change it as like map it, right? So if it is admin, so it should be is admin. If it is HR, so if convert it to is HR, or if it is HR, so if HR, okay? So that actually we have to pass it over here, and if it is not matched, so it will unknown. And then finally also whatever this it is selected, so we have to set it as a true as well, okay? So like that we have to add a claims over here, right? And once you add the claims, right, after that here I have to call another method, which is for example, yeah, for example await Firebase auth, Firebase auth, where is Firebase auth? Firebase, oh sorry, Firebase, yeah, this guy, Firebase auth dot default instance dot we have a set custom user claims. So this method actually, this method actually passing that claims, whatever claims actually we have to store it over here, right, as like dictionary format. So just pass it to as a dictionary over here, that's it, right? And once you pass it there over here, actually we have to record another one. Okay, so see, it is expected UUID, whatever that current user UUID, and along with that claim. So what is my current UUID? So this is my current UUID, right? So let me copy this UUID and pass it. Okay, I think go back to over here. So just pass it to over here, that's it, right? So once you're done, so that is perfectly working fine. And then in else conditions we set it the return false, right? And finally we have to set as a return true. Means this method actually the return type is a boolean type, right? So that I'm actually trying to handle over here, like if it is success, so that means fine. If it is fail, so it should be this guy, right? And also we can handle over here as a something like that, some error handle and all over here, could not complete assigned roles over here, right? So that is fine. And then this one I have to call in our here. And why I create as a common function, because this common function I have to use for both add and update. So that's why I'm just create as a common function over here, and that's it, right? Yeah, that's cool. So this is done. Now we have to move it to if it is this guy, right? So then we have to else block. So that else blocks means in here is a update functionality, right? In this update functionality, again we have to do similar things like binding of all the data. So this is just storing as a user record argument, like all that whatever that updated data over here. And then we have to call that update function as like we have done for over here. So similar things we have to do, like for example, just copy this guy, right, and update user to update user and change it to update update user, right? So this is a update user method, and again just call that method as like we have done. And yeah, one thing I missed, that if it is fail error or something is message, so I just edit it. Okay, this should be a save and update it, right? Because newly created would be a save and updated would be updated, right? So now our save method also is fine, right? That means that view model almost completed. If it is anything we miss, so I will modify it, but yeah, as of now we are good. So now what I need to do, I have to just create another view for add and update user as well. So right click on that, go to this, go to that new page, and here I have to just create it that add update user. So go to that MAUI content page, and let me call it to add update user page, right? So create that new page, and again similar things we have to do that on that add update page also. We have to call that namespace of that all that view models, right? So what is my view model over here? My view model is a view model. So this is my view models, yeah. And then another one would be model as well, right? So model, for model also we have to call this guy, and just change it to model, yeah, this guy, right? And this two things is done. Now third things also we have to do the type. So data type is that VM colon, and what is that our data type is add update whatever our view model, right? So update user model, right? And that's it, right? So something is not right, I guess. So let me quickly get it from here so that there is no spelling mistake. So go back and just change it to this guy, okay, and save it. Now this is done, and yeah, that's cool. Now what I need to do, I have to just remove this style, and I have to just create one style or one form over here. For example, this, right? So what I'm trying to do, see, just using the label which will show that error and all. But yeah, after that there's a entry which will input the data from that user, like okay, display name, username, and email and phone number and all. And this is that password, right? And also we have to just create this borderless entry in this handler. So if I am not using any handler, yeah, we using a handler, but yeah, we have to create okay, so we have already borderless entry. Okay, so yeah, I have to just import that namespace over here as well. So let me quickly add that namespace over here. So let me add that namespace, look like it is called as a handlers. Let me add a handlers, and also call that handlers. So it should be, yeah, this guy, right? And save it. Now this is also fine. Okay, so now see, this is a password field, this is a phone number, this is a user email, and this is user, right? So these are that normal field, that is perfectly fine. But yeah, we have to do one more thing, which is a little complex, right? A little tricky as well, like that binding, that role binding. So that particular user have some roles. Suppose user does not have a role, so that roles should be bind, but there's a no assignation, there's a no tick box and a checkbox checked, right? So that things actually we have to do that. So for that, what I can do, I have to create another frame, and that frame, let me create inside that frame. See, I just create another frame, and I am using that collection view, and just binding that role role collections, right? Observable collection over here, and again we using that collection view template. Everything is similar, but here see, I'm using the checkbox. So whatever that roles have a checked, so is checked is selected, so that will be selected. And there is a also we have to create, as of now we haven't created, but yeah, this event we will create in our code behind file. And yeah, this will be created, and this is another field which is showing that name, whatever role name, right? So like that actually we have to do that. And after frame we have to do another two button, right? Which is a save button and go back button, right? So which already we have implement this save command, and this go back command also I have to implement, which I have not implement, but yeah, I will implement. So now before that implement this command, go back command, I think we have to take in care this guy, right? So what I can do for that, so go back to now code behind file, because we have to binding as a that code behind file as well. So go to that this guy, okay? So similar things we have to do that over here, as we have done for that user page as well. Like, so add update user view model, we have to inject it over here and assign to this here, so that I can binding as a db context, binding context, right? And then once a binding context, and here so again we have used that life cycle of that. This life cycle is that on navigation 2 method. In this on navigation 2 method we have to call this 2 method, right? Just first actually we have to uh, load that roles. Okay, so I think we have to use that await function. Okay, yeah, so first I will load that roles, and that whatever roles we have that particular user, we have to select it as well. So this 2 method we have to call from that view model, right, which already we implement. And that method we have to implement this guy, right? So this guy, just let me create a one function over here, or if you want, so if you want you can create directly function as well. Like for example here, if you want, so you can just create a function directly, like for example change, right? And if you click this new handler, so yeah, go back. Okay, so same method actually you can just create it over here. I think there's a shortcut, but yeah, so see, method got created, right? So let me just change it, that name, whatever name actually the default name was there, but yeah, I just changed it, the name I just change it over here, right? And on here what I need to do, there's a some tricky part over here. Means if, for example, if, right, in the if add update model dot selected change method, command method, right, which we have in our view model, right? And in this view method can execute, right? If it is can execute, and we have to pass it is null, right? And that null, so actually we are checking, so if it is null, so it means it is false, right? And if it is false, so might be something is missing, but yeah, we can check it. But yeah, if it is false, then we have to execute uh this command actually, right? So mostly actually we are trying to do on this on check box check event, we have to fire this selected command over here, right? That's why we are doing this kind of things. And but here some issue I guess, so let me just trying to fix that. Okay, so yeah, might be it is a null level field, so that's why I just put it that null level handling over here. So now it's done, right? So now we are good, right? So let me build it and see, is there are the other issue and all. Yeah, there's some issue. And so yeah, what is okay, so see, go command, it is asking me actually go command, so we have to put that go command, but we have not implement, right? So let me quickly go to my view model. Where's my view model? Yeah, so here my view model, go to scroll to down, or yeah, before that I can just create that go command quickly. So where is my go command? Yeah, so it is simple, nothing fancy. simply I just create a relay command, go command that just read, whatever that page and the root directory, we can return back to that root directory, right? So now just check it. Now it should be good. Okay, still there's some issue. Yeah, now see, this is again same issue, right? Which I just observed last time, and I also explained, like this issue might be happen in your system as well. So what you need to do, go to this guy, and now this is the right place. Actually, I'll show you, like, okay, this is the issue and how we can fix it. So this you can just fix it, and once you save it and build it. Okay, now there is some other issue, but yeah, that issue was gone. So let me quickly build again, right? And yeah, it is failing, but it is saying something different, right? So yeah, there is a no issue as well. Like, let me rebuild also. Okay, there is a issue. There is a issue, but it is not appearing over here, right? But it is showing something. Okay, let me try to run it. Yes, now see, that warning or some error is showing, but yeah, that was not an error. So once you add this community toolkit, community toolkit.myu, so that problem will be gone, right? So that I just prove it. So what I need to do, actually, now that is fine, it is running fine, but actually we have to register some that view model and pages and all, right? So that I have not done. So what I will do, I will just stop that application and go back to again that myu.program.cs file, and here again just okay. So see, this is just showing that error, but this is not stopping actually. Okay, I think it is strange behaving, I don't know why, but yeah, see, my application got running, but it still is showing that error and all. But yeah, that's fine, that might be some issue in my system and all, but yeah, I think so you will not get any such kind of issue. So yeah, close it. Okay, and I this time I will ignore this one. Still it is not prevent my application to run. So what I can do, yeah, actually I'm just doing to builder dot services dot add singleton, and here I will add that new view model. So what is my new view model? User, or add an update, right? Add update user view model, and similar things we have to do for here, like add transient, and this is my add update user page, right? So this is one, and another things also we have to do in that navigation part, right? So yeah, for here again we have to do something similar over here. Routing, routing dot register route, and name of and my page name would be add update user page, right? And then also type of, right? So that is done. So now let me run first in our window machine, and it is running, right? It is running perfectly, and sign in. So once you sign in, I'm able to see that a hotel list, as well as if I click that user, so I should get that user list. Okay, so now user list also is there. So once I right click on this, so I able to see that edit and delete options over here, right? So yeah, yeah, one thing I missed that actually. So that edit, as of now, that command, actually some edit, this edit command actually I have not created. That's why it will, nothing will happen. See, nothing will happen. But yeah, I think yeah, that edit command and delete command actually we have to create it. But yeah, so yeah, for that actually we have to just create one more button over here, that add also. Like suppose if I click add button, so that form will be created, right? So this things is pending, so let me quickly fix that, stop that, and go to that user view model, because see that whatever that user, it is coming from that user view model, right? So if you see that whatever list is coming from this user, right? And here actually we binding the list, and this is that page and all, right? This is that command, and in this command we have that edit user and delete user. Similar, we have to bind that in here as well, right? So edit user and delete user. So let me quickly create this two command, not delete command, but yeah, I will create first that edit command in our user view model. So this is my user view model, and this user view model, let me create that command in this, and this, let me collapse all method and create it over here. And the last, first I will just create an edit, right? So let me quickly create that edit command over here like this. So I just create a edit as a using delay command, edit user using that user model, right? And we will use that shell.current.go in sync page, and here I will call that page, right? So this is my page, and I will pass it true. So what is that true actually? This true means what is that parameter we are passing, right? Yeah, so that parameter we are passing, this is that one thing. Actually I missed that, this add and edit parameter, I guess I have to bind in our somewhere, okay, in our edit view model page, that I missed that. Okay, so that I will show you once I run it, will see some exception, and why this exception, then we'll to resolve it. Okay, but as of now this is a calling method, how we can call that edit user method, right? And similar, we will call that add user method as well. So let me quickly before that, let me create that add user method as well, like, and this time also pass true, and is edit will be false, and is edit will be true, right? Now see, this is the way actually we have to create this command, and once it's done, now it will call, it will reach it to, you know, this page, and this page actually this page, and it will be open that page, right? So let me run it and show you. Okay, my application got running, and sign in, click that over here, go to that users, and we have that users, and once I click over here, click that edit. So see, yeah, that is the issue actually. So once I click edit, it is not binding the data, right? That particular data means whatever the currently we have the data, username and email and all, and this is the password, it's visible, it is not visible for edit functionality. Okay, so that means something issue. So what is the issue? So see, I'm passing the edit flag, and go back to in our add update user. Over here actually see, we are missing something, so let me show you what we have missed over there. So before that actually we have to map as a query property. So whatever that query property we are passing, we have to map it over here. Like for example, we have to pass that user, so we have to map that user over here like this. And also if I map this is edit property, so like that actually we have to map it over here. So if you go back to again, what does mean actually, let me explain one more time. So see, this is, we are calling that page, but we are passing as a query parameter. So this is that query parameter actually. So that's why we have to handle over here also whatever the query parameter, we have to, this is the query parameter, so this will be equivalent over here, and then we'll get the data. So now let me run it and see it is working or not. So yeah, my application running, sign in, go to that users, and once you right click on edit. Now see, this time I'm getting the data along with that mobile number. Might be mobile number does not have that user, but yeah, that is fine. But yeah, that role does not have also roles. So let me check, like both update, like this demo user, I want to update that mobile number along with that some roles. So for example, let me +91, and let me add some number, randomly number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, and let me add 2 roles over here, this particular user, and save it. So yeah, I am getting some error. What is that error? So let me check what is that error, so where I can get it that error. So in here we can see that error, so save it, and also put over here what is that error, we can check it. So let me debug so that you also aware like what happened. Now see, this is fine, is edit is true, that means it is edit, and here we calling this guy. And okay, so update is fine, but once I assign role, I think is assign role, yeah, assign role also is fine, but once you go back, yeah, assign role also will fine, but I think it is not redirecting. So this is the problem of that redirecting. So what is that issue then? Okay, yeah, so issue over here. So whatever this things, actually I have not, I missed the something. So what did I miss? Actually that dialog pop up, uh pop up pop up, like if it is success or fail, it will go back and redirect to that navigation page, right? So that I missed that, so that I can just edit after all that things over here. Now see, like that I'm just using the display alert, right? And this display alert, whatever, if it is success or fail, so it will redirect to that main page. Okay, so if you see over here, if we go back, you will see that data as well. So let me continue. So see, data got updated perfectly, but there was a redirecting issue. But now it's, I just fix it and save it. Might be it will not work, we have to stop it and run it again. But yeah, that is one. And let me implement another functionality, then I will open as a mobile application as well. So yeah, one more thing, actually it's pending. So go to that again, that user view model, because in user view model we have just create add user, right? So yeah, this add user button also is actually missing in our this user page, right? Because edit is over there, but this before that, actually, yeah, before that, this user page, I have to add one button, that add button. So let me quickly add that button to look like this. I have to add that button. I have to use this C shell title view. On the title view I have to add this button, and it is called as a add user button, right? And I have to add that some in. And there's some issue also, that that uh, that uh, that background, right? So that, okay, leave it as of now, but yeah, we can fix it later. But yeah, let me run it and see in action. Yeah, application running, and sign in, and go to that users. Yeah, see, add button is there, right? And once you click add, I'm able to see that password, and also this is that whatever that user have that roles also we are getting over here. And let me add a new user. So previously we have to add it, that user, right? And now I will update, I will create a new user. For example, new user @gmail.com. And okay, so this is not that password, this is not a user's email address. So this is the email address, and this is user. So what user I want over here? Okay, new user, right? And then phone number something, for example, +91123456789110. Okay, and if I password, what I password I want, so let me put some password over here, and I want to give this 3 roles over this particular user. Save it. And okay, this time also I will show you the debug mode. So this time it is a false, so that means it's coming in inside this, and call it this guy. This is perfectly successed. And once you success, also assign that roles and save it. And once you continue, you will able to see this message. And once you okay, it will redirect to that page, and which we have to create a new roles. See, this is a new user which we have to create it, which have 3 roles, right? And once you go to that edit section, you will also see whatever roles we have to see over whatever the user information along with that roles. If I want to update something, we can easily update. For example, I want to less that user roles along with this username, for example, new user 1, and save it, and again continue. So see, it is updated successfully. Okay, and go back, you are able to see the data got updated also. Like username I updated with Bon, and that roles I just choose that account except I remove that, right? So now see, it is perfectly working when add and update, right? So now I have to implement that delete also. Like for example, as of now nothing is happened for delete, right? So I want to delete that particular user, so that I want to delete as well. So let me implement that, because that is a quick implementation. So that I have to implement here itself also, because that is part of that user pages also, user page, because in user page we have the delete button, right? And the delete command we have to create it itself here. So what I can do, go to that view, user view model, and here I have to just create that delete command. So let me quickly just create a delete command as like similar kind of here, but a little different. Yeah, so see, I just create a relay command, right? And just using a delete command and accepted, from this parameters a UUID, means whatever that current UID. So here simply we get a confirmation box, right? And in this confirmation box, if it is confirm yes or no, then result, actually we just calling again that Firebase auth and default instance of that Firebase auth, and then delete user method and pass it that particular user ID, and then load that whatever that our data. Again we have just load it, whatever that recent data, like current data, right? And save it. So this is also done, right? So this is just a simple implementation, right? So that we can easily delete it. Okay, so let me try now this delete functionality as well. So let me run in without debugging mode, right? So that I can show you both application, like Android application and Windows application together. So let me run it. So yeah, Windows application is running over here, and sign in, and go to that user section. So yeah, I want to delete something. For example, recently we had this yeah, I want to delete this guy, right? So let me delete this demo user. Okay, and now see, demo user gone, right? Similar, I just added this guy also, update this guy, yeah, add and update last time. So let me try to delete. Yeah, that's also should be delete. Now we have admin user, and yeah, let me try to edit this admin user, allow this admin user, right? And this admin user does not have a user, right? So let me add other username as well, for example admin, right? So let me add admin, and let me add that phone number, for example +9112345678910910. Okay, and save it. So it is update successfully. Go back. Now see, admin has this information. Once you click the edit, now I'm able to see the other information, and click and cancel. Let's go back to over here. So that means it is completely working fine for add, update, delete also. Yeah, so let me delete this guy also then. Let me delete this guy. Let me delete this guy. Okay, now we have only admin user. So let me try again, just try to add another user. Yeah, once you click add, so now let me add a new user for desktop user, right? And that email ID is something, for example desktop@gmail.com, right? And then phone number something 9112345678910910, and then put that password, for example this, and then put it that user, actually user and HR. Okay, and save it. And okay, there is some debugging session, so let's skip that. Okay, save successfully. Now I'm able to see that add that user, right? So let me try to edit something over here. Suppose desktop update user 1, right? And then change it to this. So save it, update it. Yeah, now got change, right? And if I want to delete, I can able to delete as well. So this is perfectly working fine. So let me open, this is our Android Studio, Android emulator. Select it and run it. Yeah, it is running. Sign in and go to that user section. And now here that add button. Let me add a new user. So click on add and let me add a mobile user, right? And mobile @gmail.com plus 9112345910 and then user HR and save it. Yeah, now save successfully. Okay, once you save, now see, you're able to see this new user, right? And if I want to update, so let me click on edit. So now see, whatever that user information you are able to see. And if I want to update, for example, this guy, and I want to change to this guy and save it. So once you save it, update successfully. Okay, so now it's got changed, right? And if I want to delete, so let me try to delete. Yeah, or you want to show to delete. If I cancel, nothing will happen. And once I delete, yeah, it's got to delete, right? So yeah, now I will show you both application together. Select that window application, run this application. This is my window Android, and this is my window application, right? And sign in. So yeah, you can just use, you know, both application like that, right? So now I have only just one user. So yeah, it is fine. But yeah, all that functionality will work as expected, right? So that's all for this session. But yeah, in next session we will cover, like, see, as of now you can see any user does not have a, if any user has a permission, or you know, any normal user also, they can able to add a user. But this section actually completely depend on that role, right? Suppose if user has a admin role, that only admin role can do that add and update the user, right? And assign that role as well. So that is it. That is actually we will cover in next session. So thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share.